Good morning and welcome to a special JFT updates for Tuesday, April 28th. Um, this is just some corrections and some updates based on yesterday's JFT updates video. Starting as we always do on the screen, you can find our contact information as well as our website and social media handles. And if always, we want to ask you to like and subscribe to our social media accounts. So, some corrections and updates. JFT board meetings, the original board meeting scheduled for May 12th was moved to May 19th, and that meeting will begin at 5 p.m. I got confirmation from President Rice on that, so 5 p.m. And as a reminder, we ask you to email the president jftpsrp@gmail.com if you're interested in attending the board meeting. And the reason that we do that is because we need to make sure that if it's a physical meeting, you know where the meeting is happening, that you have a seat to sit in, and you have access to an agenda. And if it's a virtual meeting, we need to make sure that you get the Zoom link. So if you're interested in attending, please email the president and let her know. As a reminder, all JFT members are welcome to attend any executive board meeting. Now for corrections. The 2026 Mississippi legislative session, the governor is calling a special session, although officially it is called an extraordinary session. His claim is that Mississippi needs the ability to address state Supreme Court redistricting in light of Louisiana versus Calais, a case before the United States Supreme Court. And I gave a different incorrect reason yesterday, mea culpa. The session is set to begin 21 days after the Calais decision is handed down. So let's think June or July, because generally speaking, the Supreme Court has to finish their handing out their decisions by the end of June. So if they wait till the very end, then we're looking at late June into July. But it could come earlier if the decision is handed down before that. So let's take a minute and talk about how extraordinary or special session works. So the governor can call the legislature when public interest requires it. The governor lays out the agenda via a proclamation. The legislature may only work on what is laid out in the proclamation. And it is generally expected that the legislature pass what's on the agenda, though the legislature does have the power to simply adjourn. What is the worry in all of this? And this is what was in my head when I was talking to you yesterday. Mississippi, unfortunately, has a long history of having to redraw lines because original lines diluted black voting strength. And if I remember correctly, 3 out of the last 4 census redistrictings, we had to redraw the lines. If, as a result of the Calais decision, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act is gutted, the governor can request that the legislature redraw all kinds of lines, from U.S. representatives all the way down. And there is our concern. So the corrections. In yesterday's video, I mentioned redrawing U.S. representative lines, and that's not the original intent of the extraordinary session. But redrawing U.S. representative lines could very well show up if the governor adds it to the proclamation. And this is what I get for adding a last-minute item to the updates list without additional research, and I do apologize for that error. It took several tries yesterday, but I finally got the JFT Talks episode 44 Shield Act re-recorded. Please watch this video. This is a brand new law that goes into effect on July the 1st. It is not the SAVE Act, but it might as well be. And it has a high chance of affecting your voter registration status. But it also tells you what you need to do to make sure that you are not disenfranchised. It is a very important episode. It is available publicly, which means that you can pass this on to your coworkers who are not JFT members. Please do that. Let everybody know. And please use the QR code below, which has disappeared on me, to view the episode or visit www.jftpsrp.com. And I want to flip over here very quickly. So you can use the QR code that you see on your screen at this moment in order to view that episode. All right, that's it for this updates video. Again, as we always end, this is where you can get in touch with us as well as our social media handles. Please like and subscribe and share with your fellow union members and let non-members know this is some of the stuff that we do for our members. Thank you for being here, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful, wonderful week.